I have way too many hours into this game, and I am high gold, and I keep getting into plat, and I'm back into high gold, and I genuinely enjoy playing the game, but I'm also a believer that practice doesn't make perfect; it makes permanent. And at this point, I know for the amount of time I've put in to be still be in gold, I don't know what I don't know, and
Sure.
so yeah,
Sure.
that's it.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good. All right. Well, let's take a look at the form here. Obviously, if any of this has changed since you filled it out, just let me know. No problem.
Sure.
You're a flex player and you don't know what you don't know, kind of as you said.
Yep.
Generally enjoy the game, like to keep improving, applying fundamentals, but having a hard time in that high gold, low plat. I'm exactly where I need to be, but I'm not sure why. I would really appreciate candid feedback. Okay. Getting around a couple hours a day. I'm well aware I'll never go pro, but you enjoy the process. Goals are just to improve and enjoy the game. Okay. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, in terms of rank, depending on the energy that you're putting in, 2 hours a day is like pretty good for improvement time. Like that's that you have a much higher ceiling in terms of the rank that you're at, depending on the quality of those hours, right? Okay, so game sense, knowing where to position and why, when to push, pull back, decent mechanics. I don't think I'm held back mostly by my aim, but I do doubt my game sense leaks behind my mechanics. Watched a lot of your videos. Oh, so anything to
And
clarify or to adjust since those
yes,
answers were filled out?
I have learned that my mechanics are bad. Like I had never tried any aim trainers or anything like that, and I got Kovacs and have been going through like the voltaic benchmarks and stuff, and have realized that my aim isn't anywhere near what I thought it was, and so.
Sure.
I'm now expecting that you're gonna probably watch this and say, yeah, that's the number one thing that you've got to
Sure.
work on
Okay.
is that.
Yeah, I mean, I've worked with students that's definitely the problem. I would say the vast majority of students, that's not the biggest problem, but I have definitely worked with, I'd say, anywhere from 5 to 10% where mechanics is the lowest hanging fruit.
Okay.
And generally, the question then kind of comes down to, okay, how do we address those things? Is it a
Yeah.
sensitivity issue? Is it a playtime issue? Is it a hero pull issue? Is it even just aim habits, right? Like, are you slowing your process of improvement because you're aiming thoughtlessly without putting intention behind it? And we'll talk about how you can do that better as well. So, now in terms of anything else in the form that you'd adjust, so you said aim probably feels like more of a low hanging fruit than you thought it would be. Anything else come to mind since you fill out the form?
I guess I would say the four. I'm trying to narrow it down from four things and just concentrate on one thing for right now to get one thing right. But I try and look at mechanics, ability usage, positioning, and target priority. Like those are the four things I try
Sure,
and think about. But
sure.
I'm also at the point of realizing I think that might be part of my problem that I'm trying to focus on too many things at once, so
Could be,
nothing
could
becomes a
be.
focus.
Yeah, that's a great point here. I want you to clarify a little bit though. So let's just go down the list here. So you said ability usage was one of the four, correct?
Yep.
How do you practice that?
I will have games where I try to very intentionally say, "Am I using every dynamite correctly?" Like right now, I've started. I'm trying to just zero down on Ashe for a while,
Sure,
and so it's questions of like, am I watching my cooldown, and when I do throw my dynamite, am I getting proper value out of it with my coach gun? Am I holding it appropriately to either reach high ground or push away a diver or things like
sure,
that? So that's what I would say by ability usage,
sure.
more
Okay.
so than cooldown. I'm not. I don't think I'm at the point. I try and pay attention to cooldowns for opposing players, but I think right now it's more just am I using my cooldowns appropriately?
Right, but I guess my main problem was you described it a little bit with Coach Gun there, but you're kind of using it properly, and that's not good enough, to be honest with you, because it's not specific enough and it's not necessarily actionable enough. Like for example, when you talked about am I getting good value out of your dynamite, I think maybe you're just describing what you're doing. You're not, but I need more than that. Like when you're looking for good value from dynamite, what does that mean? Like how do you use dynamite?
Yep,
What are
I
your
am.
tendencies?
So I guess I would say primary, like the ultimate usage of it for me is when there are enemies that are grouped up, and so I can set multiples on fire at once. That's
Sure,
the primary thing that I'm looking for.
sure.
And if that's not available, then the other thing that I look for is to try and take space. So I know like For example, if I throw it on cart, I don't have to shoot it, let it burn, and it's going to force them to get off of cart or to get off of high ground or do something to move away from it.
Sure, sure, sure. But would you not see those as potentially being somewhat niche in their use? Maybe not niche isn't the right term, but not 100% of the time that you have the cooldown will that either of those options be available. You get what I'm saying?
Yep,
So
I
that's
do.
the kind of the problem here. It's what you're doing is you're creating a practice environment where what you're training is going to be. It's going to feel like. Have you ever watched a VOD review before? And you're like, I
Yes, I've
understand
watched
what's
you do
being,
it. Yeah.
yeah. So you watch what's being said, and you're like, that, yeah, I can see that, I can see that, I can see that. But it just feels like there's a lot of different principles, and you're like, I don't know how I'd recognize though. It feels like 15 different circumstances.
Yes, exactly.
So that's kind of the problem that you've got here right now. Is like we talk about ability usage, and you're describing different ways to find value with the abilities, but there's no real consistent pattern, so there's no real easy way to
Yep.
replicate that in game.
Yep. Spot
So
on.
that's kind of what we need to look for today with these replays is like, what is something that we can consistently replicate that isn't reliant off of that particular circumstance, right? What are
Yep.
those tendencies? And so what I'm going to try to do is I'm not just going to tell you what those are. I'm going to try to see if you can get better at spotting them yourself. Okay.
All right.
So let's keep going on. So you said positioning. All right. So you could probably guess where I'm fishing with this as well. I want actionable, consistent, replicable feedback for yourself. Now you can be honest with
Yep.
me. If you don't have that, that's fine, but try and replicate it. With your positioning, what are you trying to work on with your positioning?
I guess the two primary things that I start with is I try and do my best to take high ground. And
Okay.
actually, I'll take a step back and say positioning means grouping. Am I positioned where I'm not staggering? So ideally, I am fighting with my team and I'm not staggering. If there's high ground available, I'm taking that. And then I think the principle of high ground would be the reason it's so powerful is because you have coverage. And so even if I'm not on high ground, am I staying somewhere where within 2 seconds I can get behind cover when needed?
Okay.
And then I think the bigger one that I will struggle with is I can have cover by staying in spawn. So the question becomes, can I have cover while I still have line of sight to a squishy or to something that I'm trying to eliminate? And
Okay.
that's what I try to do.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good. So it seems a little bit more sharp, a little bit more priority on I need cover and I need to make sure that I'm not staggering. Those things are actionable. Those things are replicable. They're always relevant. So yeah, seems fine. Now let's keep going. You said mechanics, right? So how do you practice your mechanics? How are you more intentional with your mechanics in game?
I would say I am now trying to be way more cognizant of everything from actually the two things I'm trying to be way more cognizant of. One is just crosshair placement, so I'm not having to flick as much or move as much to be able to hit my target.
So what do you mean crosshair placement? Just to be very clear, you mean where your crosshair is aimed at head height, or trying to track the targets before you shoot,
Yes.
or what?
I would say before a fight or before an engagement has even started is my crosshair where I think the enemy's head will be.
Great, great, very replicable, always relevant. That's a great one to practice. What else?
The other big one, and this is my recent one, once I started using Kovacs, is realizing that I have primarily been like 90% arm aiming and not using wrist and fingers. So
Okay.
now I'm trying to pay way more attention to when I am aiming. Am I keeping my arm to the extent that I can more relaxed, so I'm not tense and have the shakiness?
Sure.
And am I using arms for large movements and then incorporating wrist and then fingers for my micro adjustments? So I'm trying to put more awareness onto that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you really aiming is just paleontology. You pull out the bulldozer, then you pull out the shovel, and then you pull out the paintbrush. You get what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
like really, it's just each layer of aiming requires different tools. Some people. The reason why wrist aiming is bad is that if you run a sensitivity to where only you wrist aim, then you're running a sensitivity so high that you're essentially playing with a paintbrush the size of a broom. That's not nuanced enough, right? When you're running a low sensitivity, which you should be, your finger and wrist aiming is very delicate. It's very small micro adjustments, right? So that allows you to have that nuanced and cautious tool. And then for those big adjustments, you can use the muscle of your arm and your shoulder and so on. So, so having a good sensitivity and then kind of like you said, describing what's demanding. Was it a small flick? Is it a small kind of last second adjustment, or is it a 180, right? You have a tool for each situation. And that's why having a good sensitivity is so important. So Okay, great. That sounds good. That seems relatively actionable. Now, there was a fourth thing. I honestly cannot remember what it was. Do you remember?
Mechanics, ability use, positioning, and target priority.
Target priority. Okay, talk me through target priority.
I know with my head that I need to be focusing on squishies. But I know I concentrate way too much on shooting tank, and I dignify it at the time of, oh, I'm building ult charge. But
Yes.
every time, like, I go back and I watch my VODs, and it's just like, damn it, you don't need to keep shooting the tank. There's
Yeah,
Lucio
yeah.
right over there, and
It's
that's
lower ult
yeah.
charge too, right? Like, don't forget that penalty is
Yes,
pretty
yeah,
harsh, right?
that's right. That's a great point.
They even have a crit modifier, so even if you crit a tank, you're actually doing less damage on top of the less ult charge as well.
Oh my gosh, wow.
So yeah, I mean, I think when we talk about target priority, I'm a big proponent of nowadays, especially. I think maybe that's where I've changed my philosophy the most, is where target priority doesn't matter. You're going to shoot what's most available, but you're going to focus on taking a good angle and then a good sightline and then see what's available. Now, if you have the option between easily pressuring squishies, relatively, or easily pressuring tank, in most circumstances, I am going to choose the squishy because it's just a larger return on investment in terms of the proportion percentage of their health pool, right? Eliminations are king in Overwatch, and we even talked about the ult charge dynamic there too. But obviously, that's something that we'll have to kind of take a look at. But noticing the tendency, perhaps, that you prioritize tanks even with available squishies is something to be aware of and definitely an actionable feedback. Now, last thing I want to talk about here, and I'm sure that you're aware of it, and it sounds like you've already made some action on it, is your hero pool is the number one reason why you're stuck in gold. Now, that might have been recently adjusted to where it's mostly Ashe, and that's great, but you cannot improve efficiently with a hero pool of multiple heroes across multiple roles. Almost impossible.
I've narrowed it down to where now I started playing. I was playing support tank and DPS because I had it in my head for a while that what was keeping me stuck is that I didn't know the other characters well enough, and that by
Yep.
playing them, I would get to know them better. And but I've exactly what you're saying. I know. I've narrowed it down to only DPS,
Yes.
and then I'm trying to play mostly Ashe.
Sure.
But I really struggle when it's like a Genji tracer
Yep.
ball or diva or something. It's just then I tend to go Soj just
That's
because
fine.
I can
No problem.
get out of jail free
Yeah.
easier.
It's not a problem. Yeah, I mean, you're playing enough to where two heroes in a DPS pool is totally fine, like completely fine.
Okay.
Absolutely. So, yeah, I mean, and again, like you can absolutely play those other characters, but it needs to be Ashe Sojourn get priority for at least, I'd say, an hour a day. And then you play the other characters just chilling for fun, right? There needs to be, again,
Okay.
split time between training focus and just chilling and having fun focus. And the problem with your original mindset with, like, I need to learn those other characters to be able to improve, that is true. That definitely helps. It's not the most important thing, but it helps. But the problem is that you weren't really getting enough volume on any of the other characters to really explore the strengths and weaknesses. So the irony is that you actually weren't learning those characters. So
Great point.
if we for people that enjoy playing and learning new characters, which I'm kind of in that category by force myself because of my job, right?
Right.
I generally kind of go through streaks. I do what I like to call periodization, where I will spend a couple weeks playing a character until and then swapping and not playing the character again, right? And that allows me to really understand the nuances of the character, decide if I like to play them, and then just dumpster them. It's actually a much more efficient use of your time if you want to learn and play new characters that way. That would be
Okay.
what my recommendation if you ever wanted to. Like, so if you ever wanted to just pivot to tank, you're bored of DPS, swap to one tank hero, grind that character, swap to another tank character, grind that character. Just allow yourself to simply focus on one thing. Don't dilute the waters is what I would say.
Got it.
Okay. Sounds like you have probably a warm-up routine already installed with all your Kovacs and Voltaic stuff. That's probably fine. Keep that up. Only thing I'd caution is don't get sucked into the aim training pipeline where that's kind of all you do, or you spend a lot of your focused time on it. It is a tool. It is not the goal in of itself, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
Okay, first code here. Now, why this particular code or why these particular codes?
I picked two that were both close games. One where we won, one where we lost. And both of them, I kind of what you were just stating about wanting to focus on one specific thing. I put them both, picked two cart-based maps, so that it's a
Good
similar
maps for Ashe?
experience. Yep, both with Ashe, one closely won, one closely lost.
Okay, perfect. Sounds good. So, yeah, we'll take a look here. Ashe is talking about just the basics of what she is, her strengths and weaknesses. She is the most powerful DPS, arguably, in the game at consistent and constant pressure if she is uncontested. Now, that's the biggest caveat in the world, right, as we talked about earlier, because she is one of the most fragile DPSs in the game. She's not completely incapable of defending herself, but it is very difficult to do so. And so you being able to respond and rotate and find the right off angle is really important. So the key thing for you is not to play your life. The key thing for you is also not to get picks. The key thing for you is what is the position that's going to allow me to pressure the most without me dying. Now, there are going to be circumstances where you are going to die, and you're going to have to question, was that a mistake of the position? Should I have disengaged sooner? Did I misplay my cooldowns? Did I not know they were there? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But all of that revolves around, are you getting reward for the risk? And usually when we start that conversation, we're talking about off angles. We're talking about finding ways to deny the enemy team cover, finding ways to open up sightlines. That means I don't have to only shoot the Reinhardt shield, essentially. And the key thing with Ashe is she really uses her cooldowns as a way to defend herself both proactively and reactively. You know, you can reactively coach gun away, but if you dynamite, let's say that Mei or Reaper trying to push you, you end up discouraging them from pushing you. So oftentimes when we talk about our dynamite usage, and this is why I pushed back just a little bit, the first priority with dynamite is actually using dynamite on anybody that is contesting you first. So if you're on your angle and there's anybody looking at you, pressuring you, shooting you, diving you, anything, that needs dynamite first. Because if you're able to hold that angle safely, then you will do more damage from that position than an AoE dynamite and then having to leave 2 seconds later. You get what I'm saying?
I do. Let me ask one clarifying question, because this is, I think this is where we get into the world of just different philosophies of coaches and things like that.
Sure.
There's another very popular coach that I've watched a lot of his videos, and it's where I at least began to pick up the habit. It's just damage, and dynamite on cooldown, like just get it going, and so I think I got into a big habit of not holding on to dynamite, even if there was threat of being rushed, because it was just get it out on cooldown.
Sure.
How would you respond to that?
So awkward. Let's just go and say it. Like awkward puts a lot of priority. Awkward puts a lot of priority on repetitions with the cooldown, so that you get more comfortable with the cooldown, and so you understand. So you're limit testing by repetition, essentially, which is a really good advice, right? That's a really good way of learning how to use the cooldown at this point in time. At this point in time, though, you've gotten more comfortable and familiar with the cooldown. You need to start thinking about how can I allow myself to keep off angles. If you're using your cooldown off of cooldown, you're not always getting the same amount of value out of that cooldown. Let's put it this way. If you can get value out of dynamite, like good value out of dynamite, I'm not saying the best value, just good value, you should use it immediately. I agree with that. But if it's, I'm not, then there's no point using it. So what we'll do is we'll ask you, why are you not using dynamite right now?
Yeah, and that's where...
you see what I'm saying?
Yep, and I think what I do on this, what I try and do is wait and see, are they coming on the right or the left side of the bus?
And that's smart. You should.
And once I can identify it, then throw it there.
Correct. That you should. And that's kind of like where I'm not saying that awkward would tell you to use dynamite right now. By all means, no. However, this is kind of like where you need to be like the key thing here is awkward does a really good job of plugging systems into players or players into systems, right? And that's an excellent way of teaching the game. I'm asking you to do more than that because I want something I need to make you a smarter player and not just a system player. You understand what I'm saying? Gotcha. So I'm asking you to use your brain, which is functional, and say, is this a good dynamite? Is this going to allow you to keep this off angle? And the answer is no. No, it's not, because there's no real pressure here. It's not that dynamiting a solo Reaper is bad. It's that this Reaper isn't doing anything, and neither is your team. So there's no point using your dynamite there, because a situation like now where a dynamite could be really useful. How?
By throwing it over the wall to protect my tank that's been walled down.
Correct. That would be more valuable than what you did right there. And the key thing as well is when you do things like this, you allow yourself to hold off angles for longer. See, Awkward is all about off angles and damage. I'm saying I'm all about that too. But if you don't have your dynamite to punish the Reaper when he's actually taking space, or the Mei, or the Ana, or Ryan, or anybody, then you're not going to be able to hold the off angle and damage. You're going to have to run away.
Yep.
So
that makes sense.
It's like holding a sleep dart when you're on a flank with Ana. It's not that using the sleep dart is bad. It's that you might need the sleep dart to be able to use your nade, to be able to use your shots. So I like this rotation, and then I really don't like this rotation anymore. Do you have an off angle anymore in terms of splitting from your team, finding a different sight line?
So I did this because the tank went down, and so kind of my like default right now is I try and reinforce in my head once my tank goes down, get to safety. And in this case, I think we were down 2, and so with that being the case, I was
only down 1 at this point. Only down 1. Okay, so we're gonna ask you a really important question here. All right, I want you to think outside of just Overwatch here. You're at a disadvantage. Do you immediately clear the game board, or are you fighting retreat here? What feels more right from what you know about the world?
Yeah, I think I should have kept high ground until I was in danger by holding it.
Correct. And see, that's the balance here. Again, we're not giving you rules. You're down 1, run away. No. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. What is the nuance in this situation that you can replicate? Why would you not want to immediately run away here? What's different about the situation?
So I would want to rotate but not run away, because where I was, I couldn't. Why? Because I can still have high ground, and they aren't.
I'm pushing you a little bit here. Why are you not at risk here, but you were at risk here?
Because 2 things. One, I have a Reaper that's teleporting over there.
Sure, but you didn't know that.
Right, I didn't, but that would be the other part is I have 1 coach gun cooldown, and I need to use it to get over there. And I think my fear was if I stayed there and I didn't leave yet, then once I needed to escape, I wouldn't have my cooldown to be able to get out.
But how did they get to that position in the first place? They had to use cooldowns.
Right.
The simplest way of looking at it is we're going to actually go back to what you said earlier. I'm safe here. I can stay here until I get pushed. You know that.
Yep.
Now, if we want to get into the nuance here of like, well, the reason is because when you have a map control advantage, generally it's as if you're up 1, or as if so what you are here is you're actually even. You're down 1, but you have the map control. They don't. They're all on the floor. Your Reaper's got a flank. Your Juno's got an angle. Ana's got an angle. You've got the high ground. Has their positioning improved? No, it's the same. So even though they're up 1, they could still lose this fight to you, your Reaper, and so on. Does that make sense? Now, the simplest way of looking at that is not to overcomplicate it with all those details. It's essentially to say, can I back up without running all the way back to spawn? Am I going to die? You see, the thing is, you don't die when you stagger. That's the reason. If you die, you stagger further. And there's going to be times when you're practicing this where you're going to screw this up and die, but you're following a rule here. That rule is wrong. You lose your tank, you lose anybody, you back all the way up to spawn. That is a mistake. You're losing fights because of and you're losing games because that's going to happen. The rest of your team is not interested in backing up, so you must fight with them.
Yep.
And you did not even look. You did not even look at the enemy team, and you didn't even look at whether your team was backing up. You said, I should back up here, we should back up here, Ana's not backing up here, Reaper's not backing up here, Juno's not backing up here, and now we've staggered.
Yep.
So your number 1 priority, okay, and we'll simplify this. If you want a real rule here, okay, it requires you to think. It asks you, is my team fighting? The majority of my team fighting. If the answer is yes, you fight. That's it. That's the rule.
Okay.
Because if you want a rule that's always applicable, that's the one that's always applicable, right? Because that requires you to evaluate the situation. Am I going to die? Is my team fighting? Then you make your decision. Make sense?
So it does. My one clarification would be, what if we're down 2, but the team isn't falling back? The other, the others are staying in there and fighting. Do I stay and fight with them?
You do.
Okay, gotcha.
Worst case scenario, what happens? You die. You get wave respawn. GG's. Right? We're fine. Dying is not the end of the world. If your team is lost, die with them. Get a trade. It's all right.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because the problem here is that because your team staggered, you almost were in danger of getting staggered yourself through no quote unquote fault of your own. It's like, wow, how are they all on top of me? Because your entire team's dead, you should have died with them.
Right.
Worst case scenario, right?
Gotcha. That makes sense.
So it's the following the letter of the law, not the spirit of the law. The letter of the law is that you need to, why don't you want to stagger? Because you don't want to be by yourself. And then what did you just do? You isolated yourself, essentially.
That's right.
You went by yourself. Right. The spirit of the law is that you want to fight with the majority of your team. That's why we don't stagger, right? So if the majority of your team make a stupid decision, you need to fight with them. And to be honest with you, that your team did not make a stupid decision. You did. You guys had map control. You were only down one. You needed to go for it. Okay, so first things first. Off angles are king with Ashe. And finding a safe off angle can be challenging. And the definition of an off angle is simply a position that isn't grouped with the majority of your team. So that might be with one person. That might be with two people with your team. And with Ashe, obviously, trying to find a good sightline. Like, not all off angles are created alike, right? For example, I wouldn't necessarily want you here if we can avoid it. I mean, there's nuance here, but generally not necessarily. So with the information that you have here, and obviously with the time that you have here, right? Now, we have a time to evaluate your positioning. What do you think? Where should you go? What should you do?
I think I should go up and to the right. And then, yes, that's where I would think.
So you're going to flank. You're going to flank.
Yep.
Okay. Is that appropriate with Ashe?
I have.
This is the thinking, right? This is the thinking.
I would say not without cooldowns. That would be my thought. Is I could go drop dynamite when they're grouped.
Are you sure?
But,
you said something very important 15 seconds ago. Why did you want to go there? You said because there's what? What did you say?
High ground and they're grouped and there's no one up there.
That's the one right there. It's uncontested. Okay, so you just introduced some nuance. I don't always coach Ashes, no pun intended, to hard flank because you're slow and you're fragile. But you know what? Yeah. If it's safe, you are unbelievably powerful on off angles with bobs and dynamites and shots. So even if you die here, somebody's coming down with you. So let's ask, does Ashe flank? Sure. You use your brain. Do you have cooldowns? That's an important one for sure. But you don't have cooldowns, but you said, well, there's nobody there, so why would I need cooldowns? That's right.
Yep, that's right.
That's right. Now you're thinking, oh, but it's going to take a long time for me to get there. That's right. But what are you doing in the meantime? Well, we're staring at a rain shield. Now, let's say that we didn't want to go that far of a rotation. Let's say there was somebody there. Use your brain. Where would you go?
So there's high ground to the left, but now I'm still in like main. I'm grouped together with everyone, so I assume it wouldn't be top left. And then the other alternative, because then I would be grouped. I would be right down.
Maybe.
So by all means, correct if I'm off. But I have it in my head that I need an off angle, and if I'm on this angle, then this is the on angle. This is the angle that everyone's shooting.
Right, and this is exactly the problem with your current positioning. You see, the direction with which damage is coming from is linear. Now, I'm going to clarify one of your earlier comments when you said, what do you focus on with positioning with Ashe? You said, I like high ground because it provides cover, and I think that's 100% correct. But there's an even more important reason why high ground is good. Sometimes, not always, but sometimes. It is because high ground is often in of itself an off angle. How can Ryan block your damage here? How can they spam crap here easily? Correct? What about a small adjustment? Now, laterally, not that much, right? Just a little bit to the side. But visually, do you see the difference here? How much harder it is? That's what high ground's good at. It's a vertical angle rather than a horizontal angle. You understand what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So I look at the situation. This is terrible. This is grouped up with 4 members of your team, and anything thrown your way is going to hit. It's going to kill you, right? You're the only person on off angle is you're on. You have either a hard flank, high risk, high reward option, which would be very valuable, or you have a low risk, low order option where you started to migrate here. You need to commit the walking to here and then play here and poke, shoot, dynamite, whatever. Maybe even go on a deeper, short angle here, a little bit risky, and make your play there.
Gotcha.
Okay. You need to look at main as not main because it's main, but main because the majority of your team is here. If all of your team was here, then nuance. Actually being here would be great because all your team is here. You get what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. That's a really important nuance that I hadn't considered. And that's,
right. Correct. So we don't memorize positions. We think of, I want a long range angle. Where's my team not? Or where's not the majority of my team? Because being with your on here would be fine. You don't have to be by yourself. That's okay. You can even be with your tank. Sometimes that's fine. But ultimately, this dynamite is just incredibly ineffective because you're dynamiting Ryan. And is Ryan dynamite bad? Well, not always if that's your only option. But you see the problem here? Ryan just
Yep,
looked
I
at you.
don't have any line of sight.
Ryan looked at you funny, and you had to panic, right? And you're right. You probably should have coach gone away here. Like I'm thinking coalescence or shatter. Like I don't really know what's coming here, and now we have nothing. And now you're in that catch-22 of like, what do you do?
Yep.
Do you commit? Do you rotate forward and then get shattered and then I shouldn't have walked forward, right? It's a lose-lose, right? Every decision that you do is a mistake. This actually kind of ends up being an off angle, which is funny because look at your hazard and Torb, right? So main now becomes a bit of an angle, right? Which is why it works. You see it? She's not expecting damage. She's not thinking about you. She's not thinking about Torb. She's thinking about hazard, and then she dies. So your team created an angle for you. That's a problem. You don't want to do that. Like that is a happenstance, but you can't rely on that. Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot more to say. We're kind of main botting here. Our entire team is playing here. If you had the time to reevaluate, obviously we've talked about this angle here, but is there another option for you here?
I mean, I know there's the tie left over there. I hate that platform, though. I don't like that because there's just no cover. So I don't tend to take that one. Yeah, and so I would say though, rotating to my left beyond the Juno and taking like that hallway.
Yeah, it's okay. It's just not really good angle here, right? It's not great, but it's okay. It's a little bit off to the side. I mean, you even look at the May wall, right? Like she's clearly not intending to block off this side. It's more about this side. And so if you go here, well, it might be a little bit better. We could also reevaluate the high ground. This is generally better than nothing because even if it's not a great angle, it at least has the range that you want. But yeah, I mean, this is an awkward spot. Let's not lie. But I think I think you did a good job problem solving it.
Okay.
Good? Good. Very nice job. Okay. I'm actually going to go to an entirely different section of the map because I want us to practice your decision making in terms of how you're rotating. Okay, so let's prioritize the off angle with the information that you have. This is a terrible dynamite because you're using it without any information. What should you be doing with this dynamite first?
Should I be doing with it first? Holding it to make sure that when I do throw it, it's going to get value.
Sure. So let's decide where is it going to get value, but deciding where are you going to get value. So you hear Reaper shots here. You see Ryan shield here. So you tell me where should you angle here. I don't think it's a clear answer here. I don't think there's a perfect answer here, but what feels right to you right now?
So I can't take high ground behind me because then I lose visibility. I don't want to take.
This is not where the fight is happening. So this is too far.
Exactly. I don't want to take high ground to the right for the reason you mentioned. I hear Reaper, and that leaves me with.
Now wait a second. That I'm gonna handhold you here. Are you sure?
Please. I don't know. I mean, I hear the thump thump thump, and I hear his feet.
Oh, I mean, he's definitely there. That's not the problem. The question is look at the situation.
Yep.
Look at your cooldowns. And think about it.
Yeah, and seeing this now, if I had realized there's a Torb over there also, then I could either take high ground and help Torb, or I could take high ground and then I have a really good place to throw the dynamite out by where the card is approaching.
So this is again the nuance. I want to be here. I like to be here, but I don't know if I can. Wait, Torb's there. Wait, maybe I could dynamite. Maybe you see what I'm saying. So the first thing is where do I want to? It's not I'm going to help my Torb necessarily. It's I want the position. So now I will help my Torb.
Yeah.
But if you have to make that decision first. Now, if you looked at this and you said, I cannot help my Torb, like let's say your Torb dies right now. Okay, so then that changes things. Okay, so then let's keep practicing. Let's say that angle is closed off. Now what?
Yep. Man, I could go to my left, but then I'm only going to have visibility of the Rhine. And so I don't like that. And so if I'm not going to my right to take high ground and I can't go to my left because I won't have line of sight, then I'm not really sure where else I have to go from here other than pushing up more. But then the Rhine is right there. Yeah, I'm not seeing. I mean, yeah. What's my? I can't go to the right. Can't go left. Can't go back and up.
You can't go right here.
Right. But in that little nook over here.
Right.
I don't know that I've ever taken that. Okay.
Then that's what we're here for, right? Now, let's be honest. Is this slightly risky? Yes. What will you need? What would you like to have cooldown-wise to make this work?
I mean, ideally, I'd like to have both. I definitely need my coach to get away, but that is also a phenomenal Yes,
Yeah,
for the
and
dynamite. That's where I wanted to throw it.
the dynamite in May here, or Moira, or Anna, or anybody would be unbelievably valuable because it's
Yep.
guaranteed pressure to stop them from pushing you or punish them if they don't. What will
Yep.
happen sometimes with Ashe is you might actually spend rounds, especially versus these dive comps, hitting a couple of shots, throwing a dynamite, and running. And that's all you do. You don't plant your feet and shoot. Your damage numbers are terrible. But what you do is you force responses. You force them to come after you, create space for you. And then if you can just barely live because you're that juicy cupcake that they just want, I gotta get it, right? And that's all that you want. You want, hey, come on, bait. And meanwhile, you're getting damage. But that's the problem here, right? And see, this is, I don't think necessarily Awkward teaches this, but this is the problem with your current interpretation of what Awkward's teaching, is because before you even think about your angle, you're using your dynamite.
Yep.
That's the problem here. And so this is what I'm challenging you to do. I'm not challenging you to have all these complicated decisions. I'm saying, where do you want to go? What do you need to do that? That's it.
Yep.
Okay. So
That
what
makes
do you need?
sense.
What do you need? Where do you need to go? What do you need to do that? And right now, you need both your coach and dynamite. Now, to be clear, if you didn't have my dynamite here, I would still take this angle, but there is a much higher risk and much lower reward for me doing so. Because the problem here is we don't have an angle, and you feel wrong. Like, this feels like you trying to solve the problem, but you're like, I'm not contributing, right? Like,
which is why I dropped back down.
Right, exactly. And I think that was the correct play. It's just now it's too late to really do much of anything. Now, you could probably take high ground here if you'd like to. But ultimately, you get saved by your Torb. Your Torb ends up clutching this fight by winning the duel and then Torb ulting.
Yep.
And he wins the duel without any help. So that's kind of all on him. He won the angle. You guys win the fight. All right, where's this fight going to happen? Well, somewhere around here. Where's your angle going to be? Well, seems okay. It's not bad.
Yeah, but I think I need to do those. Do this. That was
Again, this Ashe flank. Well, I don't. Yeah, maybe so. Like, maybe like I have my dynamite. I have information on Reaper, and I have Bob. So okay.
I have Bob. That was my thought. Is get behind and use Bob.
And it's a great angle. This is awesome. You took an uncontested angle with cooldowns and Bob. You're gonna win this fight almost certainly. You see what I'm saying? Beautiful.
Yep.
That's a clutch. That's a clutch. Like, even as badly as this fight goes, you still have position. Yeah, perfectly timed. See, it goes from your Torb being the clutcher. That's really, really unfortunate there. You needed to kill the May and probably not drop there. I think that was a mistake. But like, I'm going to be frank with you. That was a really good play. Don't drop next time. Other than that, perfect. Well done.
Gotcha.
And what changed? You took an angle and you used your brain, right? You did something unusual, but it was not because you did something unusual that it worked. It's because it was smart. You read the room, you thought about your angle with the tools that you had, the information you had, and you made a play. Now, let's be honest. You hit a nice headshot, right? You had a couple of good, decent shots that definitely helps. Mechanics matter, right? But it's fine.
Yeah.
It's the first time that you've actually thought strategically about where you wanted to be. First time.
You're the, like, I think of you like I think of Luka Doncic, someone who there's a game that feels chaotic to most and it slows down for them, and that's my problem, is using my brain when the game just feels fast.
Yes. So this is why I'm not obsessing with you dropping to the May, because that's when the game feels fast, right?
Yes.
Objectively, there's a lot of decisions that are being made, and you made the wrong one. The reason why I'm obsessing about moments like even now, right? It's because the game should be slow. There is time for you to process things, and it's important to process the right things so that you make the right decision. Like right now, this might feel a little awkward, but I think for the most part here, this could be processed well. Like, if you could play this well, you can help hold space and you can live. And there it is, right? Not a bad play from you at all. Why? Because you thought about it. You said, okay, this high ground works. Okay, I need to hold my coach gun in case I get pushed. You did get pushed. You disengaged and you lived. It's not flashy. It's not fancy, but it worked.
Okay.
Right? So slow down the game when you have the time to process it. And all I'm asking you to do is, what do you need to be processing? That's it.
Gotcha.
So right now, with the information that you have, you're terribly positioned right now. I'm not blaming you. You just got cleared out.
I agree.
That's how it happens, even at the Grandmaster level. You're going to get knocked into the floor. But right now, the number one priority in the entirety of Overwatch 2 macro is, where do I need to go now? The Reaper's there. Can I clear him? If not, where can I go? What do I need to do to clear him? Should I clear him?
Yep.
Is there a different angle? So there's a lot of options here. I want you to process things right now, because this is where things can feel chaotic, but you need to slow things down. I must find an angle now. Where is it, and what do I do?
My default thought would be to coach gun up into the back and take that high ground. Yep.
Okay.
And then hold that angle.
So then what do you do with your dynamite
Reaper.
from that position? Do you understand what I'm saying? This is the problem right here. So you've coach gun to the angle. Great. Now what? Now what do you do with your dynamite?
If I was at that angle, I think I've got a pretty incredible grouping of the cart with all, and I can throw over Ryan's shield, and I think I could set the entire team on fire.
Sure. And this is where I'm going to challenge you a little bit. I agree with you, but I think the most important thing for you to hold is to hold this angle. No? Who's going to come after you?
So hold the dynamite for Reaper.
Not necessarily use the dynamite for Reaper. Use it now.
Okay, so you would try and clear the other high ground and use it on the single target as opposed to on the other 4.
If you wait for Genji to dive you or Reaper to dive you, it might be too late. If they are in a position to contest you, do it now.
Interesting. Okay.
So this is where me and Awkward, I agree. I want you to use your dynamite the first opportunity you have to use it, but it needs to be something that is allowing you to hold an angle. And so for me, I'm like, hey, I might get a big dynamite over here, but who really matters right now? Who's going to clutch this, if anybody? It's going to be this jackass. Why? Is it because it's Reaper? No, it's because of the position. This is not scary to me. It's really not even scary to my team. You know what is scary? This. If Mei was in here, this would be scary. If Kiriko was in here, this would be scary. So when we talk about what you do with your abilities, think about who's on those angles. Tanks, DPS, supports, that's who's scary. This is not scary. This is. And so what you do is you sacrifice the quantity of your dynamite targets for the quality of who's getting hurt.
Okay, got it.
So the problem with this here is like, okay, we got, what, a 2-man? 1-man, okay, whatever. But Mei's not really doing anything anyway. And now we have a problem. Because not only do we miss an opportunity to kill the Reaper because we don't have a dynamite for him, but ironically, if you wanted to go for a backline dynamite, what would have been the best position to do so? It would have been here. So
and I died because I drew the attention of Mei.
Right. If you had positioned first and then dynamited either that juicy backline dynamite that you wanted or on the Reaper, then we would have been positioning first. First, because that dictates how you use your cooldowns.
Okay.
The problem is not this position. This was fine. Even your cover usage, it was a little sloppy, but it wasn't terrible. The problem is that you didn't have the tool that you needed to either save that angle or make it more valuable. I mean, even here, right? Like you cannot come out on the same side as your team. Like here, if I just see my tracer here and I hear Ryan, that's enough for me to say, nope, I'm going over here.
I gotcha. Yep.
That's enough, right? Because this is kind of unlucky, but also it's not really unlucky. It's a calculated risk. That's what you're on. That's why I have faith that your Ana might be able to get a nade here, because there it is, right? Because pressure on the right, so Ana's on the left. So yeah. Okay. Let's keep going here. Any questions so far?
No, this is incredibly helpful.
Good. So first things first, where's my angle? And then this is exactly what I'm talking about. Your first priority here, probably honestly autopiloted, was I just always go top right here. Why? Because what can I do from that angle? Well, first off, you should look, so that's a mistake. But in theory, if you'd looked, well, there's your dynamite. Merry Christmas. Position first, then cooldowns afterwards. Just next time, look.
Gotcha. That makes
next step,
sense.
Now what? Now
I need to rotate because I can't see.
Right. Now you're like, oh, but I might get pushed. Well, no. There's 2 down, 3 down. You're fine. So given the context of what you know, this is fine. Normally, you probably don't hold positions like this, but you have a brain. You look at the situation, you go, wow, I think I can hold here. Let's keep going. Okay, given the context of what you know, where can you go?
Straight up high ground.
Straight up. Now, this would be scary sometimes, but not anymore. He's dead. They're on the floor. Nobody can push you. Go. So this is a bad dynamite. Not because it doesn't, I mean, that's crazy dynamite, right? The problem is that it was an accident that should have been amplified with actual kills here. See, the problem here is that they're going to live this massive dynamite. They should not have lived that massive dynamite. You would have killed somebody, guaranteed.
That's right. I can't follow it up. That makes sense. Yeah, gotcha.
Because you just don't have an angle. You're
And
being
right
too,
now I have an
and there it is, right?
there is no
Right.
off angle.
There is no off
yeah.
angle, right? It's actually a very nice dynamite for you mechanically. That's not an easy shot to hit over that shield, but you don't really have another option, and then you mess it up. But the
There, I
problem
missed
is
my
like,
kick
oh, I
shot.
messed it up. That happens. Don't worry about it. But like, it took you too long. This is where like the Luka effect, right? Like you had all the time in the world to think and process this, and you
That's
just did
right.
nothing. You
That's
did
right.
nothing. Is it
Makes
always
complete
going to be appropriate to go to this high ground? No. If there's a Genji up there, well, okay, then what? Okay, let's actually give you that situation. There's a Genji or Hanzo up here, and you're stuck here. What do you do?
I mean, if there's a Genji or a Hanzo, then I could go to my right and not go high ground, but go to my right. But it would be a pretty deep flank. Yeah,
It
if I
would be
go
a
in
pretty
there, I
deep
can come
flank,
on
right?
that side. It's a pretty deep flank.
Now, I'm going to be
So if
honest with you. That's better than what you're doing right now. So you get a gold star, okay? However,
Okay.
let's take that one step further. So it's a tough choke. There's only one angle. The other flank doesn't work. Okay, what do you do? Think back to that Reaper example, okay, on third point, or even retaking second point. Get out of my position. What do you do? You need that
so
position.
try and clear the high ground so
How?
that I can
What
using
can
my
your kit do?
dynamite.
Using your
Using my
dynamite.
dynamite.
Using your dynamite. Even just throwing the dynamite here means at least he can't get proper value out of the angle. You may not be able to get rid of him, but at least you discourage him from using it. So it's worst case scenario, a stalemate.
Spot on. Okay, gotcha.
Do you see what I'm saying? So you
yeah.
if you cannot take an angle, then your position eyes are on that angle that you want to take. As soon as he
figure out
leaves,
how I
I'm
can take
in.
it.
As soon as he
Okay.
leaves, I'm in, or I'm gonna try to punish him for holding that position. I don't like him there.
Okay.
I don't like
Gotcha.
him there. You know, you'll even see that with Reapers. They might teleport at you and you just coach them away, but they want you to knock yourself out. They want to scare you, right? You do the same to them. Fight for those positions. That's really what Overwatch 2 is people using cooldowns to fight for all optimal positions. And the team that gets those optimal positions just wins.
Gotcha.
Like right now, look at this choke, right? They've got you all surrounded. Somebody's going to have to take space somewhere. Otherwise, there's just no way to break this choke.
Yep.
And you want to guess who did it? Let's watch. Watch carefully. You see it?
Yeah, I mean, junk. Yeah.
He gets out of the choke. And this is a good angle for him. Because... And even if he dies here, which is not optimal, like he probably should have just... That angle is what created the chaos that not only killed Mei, but also allowed you to kill Ana.
Yes, it
he
unclogged the sink.
Right, exactly. He took an angle that worked for his effective range, used his cooldowns to help him live on that angle, right? So not only did he kill with a mine, he got out with a mine, and then now you guys are all set. You see that?
Okay. Yep. Spot on.
Chokes like these are rare in Overwatch 2, but they are your responsibility to help break, essentially. Okay. Let's keep going here. I might want to move. Let's actually jump to your other code here, and the reason is I want to practice this decision making with a completely different environment. If that works for you.
Deal.
Oh, here's another great one. I mean, we talked about chokes, right? This is one of the last bastions of Overwatch 1 misery. At least there's one fewer character to plug it up, but it can be tough. I already like this rotation. You know where your team is rotating. You're angling safely with enough distance to where you should be safe. Sure. Now, the key thing here is this where you're going to stay? I don't know. But that's okay. We'll dynamite. We'll shoot the diva out. We'll get our angle here. So she backs up. We're getting free damage. Nice job. Now, eventually, she's going to back up, and you're going to have to make a decision. So the diva's an idiot. She just got demeched and died. So that's her fault. But like, let's say that she doesn't get demeched. Let's say she ducks behind a corner and hides. What now? What do you do now?
Rotate to the right. So
Rotate to the right.
My team is now pushing, so I need to rotate to the right and push as well.
Now diva's going to push you here. Let's say she has full HP. So what are you gonna do with your cooldowns here? You want to take this angle? It's not a good angle, but at least it's a gosh darn angle, right? So what do you do?
Yep.
You walk here, and then what do you do right here? Diva's ready to looking at you. They're all looking at you. What do you do?
My thought would be to dynamite and not even shoot it. Even just dynamite right there in that space to force them out of that space. So now my team can move in. Yep, and then get the heck out of Dodge.
Probably, right? Now you can obviously read the room, but yeah, that's it. That's it exactly. That's the same thing we asked you to do in second point. It's not really good angle here. Everything sucks. It's a choke. So walk in an angle, pop a couple shots, hit a dynamite, and get out of there. That's how you create space.
Okay, got it.
Cause some chaos. Force some CDs. Make them look at you. Sure. I mean, she just feeds, so it makes everything easy, but it's good to think about things that way.
Yep.
Like right now, we're kind of in another choke again. Like Crowfist is dead again because she's an idiot. But I mean, you're like, see, this is okay. Just don't back away. Go here. You hit the dynamite here. Who's winning this duel right now? It's you, right?
Yep.
It doesn't necessarily mean you're going to kill her immediately, but that's a huge tool to put her on the back foot. That hurts, right? Look at that, right? Like that is a lot of damage. And so if she turns on and pivots on you, and that's really dangerous for her. So you're pushing card here because nobody is. It's more about the concept itself. So okay. And then as soon as you can, we need to get out of this choke. We have both our coach and dynamite. Are we gonna go here? You know? Are we gonna try to go here? It's up to you. But not here.
Struggle coming out of this one because I hate the high ground that is dead in front of me. Yeah. And so I struggle with where to go coming out of this.
This is too easy for the enemy team. Look at this, right? I mean, literally, you guys are like goats in a herd, right? This is just terrible, right? Open up your sight line here. Make it easier for you. Go to here. Catch the Freya off guard. Force Suzu. Distract her. That's going to take more pressure off of your tank. This is a fine dynamite. But the problem is that it's really easy for this Mei to use cover because it's really easy for her to avoid 3 people by just using the cart. I mean, she doesn't even have a wall. She just has cart. I mean, that's crazy. She 1v4'd for like 15 seconds there. So we have a real problem with taking space. And by taking space, I mean opening an angle, finding a sight line, and then deciding what we want to do with our cooldowns. I mean, even now, like this D.Va's feeding so much. She's demeched again. Where should you be right about now?
Taking high ground.
Correct. And that might, I mean, I think this dynamite's fine, but that might even change if you decide to use dynamite. Maybe you coach gun up and look for greedier dynamite because you took a better position. So everything starts with that position first. Slow it down. This is chaotic because it's mid-fight, right? So we'll cut you some slack. But if it makes you feel any better, this should be at the forefront of your decision-making about 60-70% of games. Other games, you can work on your mechanics. You could even work on your target priority tendencies, which, by the way, you notice that we haven't talked about at all. But for right now, I think the first, like right now, we already have 1 on cart. Where should you be? It's not a clear answer, but what are some options?
I would probably go to my right, where if I hear or see them coming, I can dynamite.
Yep. Yeah, this is great. This is great. Yeah, I mean, this is amazing. I mean, if you had Bob, you could go here and be really silly, right? You have so many options here right now. And you're going to have Bob, you have dynamite, you have coach. Why not?
Yep.
Everything's going to explode on cart right now, and you're going to be in the middle of that fire, essentially. Now you're like, oh, but maybe we can cap. Yeah, but maybe we don't, you know? Now, so again, there's nuance. There's situations where stacking cart can be okay. Very, very big dynamite. Very big dynamite. Why?
Because they were pushing out the right hand.
So now she has to leave, and now she may die. Again, this is how Overwatch 2 works. It's not about those AoE values as much. It's more about the single targets, taking space, getting punished for it. Mega has been used already, and now she's no longer a threat. She wanted to ult you, and now she cannot.
Right, spot on. Okay.
Even this, it's uncomfortable. It's a tight choke. Obviously, what are we going to do with dynamite here? Well, I want this angle. You're on my angle. There's nowhere else to go. You're going to eat my dynamite, and then I might even bob just to get out of the choke. Yeah, you ran away. Don't run away. You got the tools. Fight him.
I know. I saw it was a 2v1, and that's something else I've been trying to work on, is not trying to take 2v1s. But
right, but that's a rule.
But
we don't do
I know.
Exactly.
Right?
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Well, you should be careful of 2v1s, but don't die.
It doesn't mean don't. Yeah, it's
try
not
to throw a dynamite safely. Yeah, sure. Just don't die. You know?
Yep. Okay.
Because it's a 2v1 or nothing, right? It's literally a 2v1 or nothing.
Now I'm deported.
Yeah, it's fine. I like this angle from you a lot. This is exactly what we talked about fighting withdrawal. You see that? Mei's like, push. She might die here. She should die here. Good. This is really good. This is respect. I messed up. I hit the Mei. I did not kill the Mei. Zen caught me off guard, but I lived, and now we're winning the fight.
Yep.
You see that? Very good. Don't die.
And I'm allowed to keep fighting. Yeah.
And there it is. Correct. You played that fight really, really, really well conceptually. I needed a better dynamite on that Mei Zen, but you actually took the angle. You hit the Mei. You had a fighting withdrawal. They overextended, and then you punched them for it. Where should you be right now? Take space between the fight. Luka, right?
All right.
Time.
Then I'll be going to the hallway to straight ahead. I should go to those stairs.
Coach gun across, whatever to here. Yep. And then decide which one to do from here. Here, or here, or here, you got lots of options here. You could, if you're more conservative, let's say you didn't have Bob, you could go up here. You have options, but we have all the tools in the world, so we should be pushing up here. We're 3 in card. And so now the chaos. And you've created that chaos for yourself. You've made it easy. Now the Bob placement, really good. Really, really, really good. Your placement, really bad. Really, really, really bad.
Because I could have gotten that same placement with Bob with me in a good angle.
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. Now, your Bob is carrying because it's placed perfectly. So you guys might actually still win this. Yeah. Bob placement's really good. Your Bob placement in general has been really good. Like, I have very few critiques. My only critique would be that you're going to have some bad Bobs because you're throwing it behind your tank, and so it's going to hit their tank and stop, right? If you set it up with your own position more, you guarantee the quality of that type of Bob more consistently.
Great call.
Okay, let's. My next student is running a few minutes behind, so we are free to go a few minutes over. We started a few minutes late as well, so we can keep going here until he's back, if that works for you.
Sure.
Okay. Angle here is fine. Dynamite here is fine. This is, by the way, one of those moments where if a Genji pushes you, this Dynamite's probably worth it, number one. And also, number two, the Genji might have been hit by the Dynamite and therefore be unable to push you, right? So this is good. Yeah, this is where Ashe is easy, right? Nothing's really pushing you as long as you play really tight cover. You could honestly go back if you wanted to, but this is fine. Nothing's on your angle, so big Dynamite. This is just simply Kovacs, really. The only problem is that you got a little sloppy and ended up getting caught in the open.
I didn't have cover.
Pivoting to cover, right? So yeah, the only thing here is just cover. You're obviously just vomiting ridiculous amounts of damage, so nothing besides that was a problem. Cover, cover, that's it. Yes? I mean, that's important. She wants to peek, you said no. And then now, he wants to peek, you say no. And then the next person here is either Dynamite this or Dynamite that. Both are useful. I don't know how your Mercy's dying. I don't know where your Mercy even is. Oh, my case.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Anybody running that Mercy skin is already a red flag. Okay. This is fighting withdrawal. Should you peek this again? Well, maybe. Carefully. I don't know. You're down one, but like, I mean, come on. Like, look at your Sigma, right? Like, maybe you look at your Genji. In fact, if you don't peek this, you're the one throwing. Because look at your team, right?
That's right.
So be careful here. Don't die, but you should peek this. Probably Dynamite that first, but honestly, like Dynamite just. So the reason you Dynamite first is because it's easier to hit when they're unawares, and then you could say, oh, but a headshot's easier to hit unawares, right? But it's a lot harder for you to hit a mid Dynamite on there. Like, you have to kind of scope in on it. So just Dynamite, and it's also because it's projectile, it's easier to hit. Whatever. By the way, that's why I like the other perk. I know you've been choosing the Coach Gun perk, but just food for thought. Yes. This is exactly the situation where you can use the other perk so that you can hit a Dynamite and a headshot simultaneously without having to aim for different ones.
Okay, interesting. I haven't tried the other perk yet at all.
Everyone crapped on it, but I think everyone's wrong. So it's really, really good. It's also really good in those situations. Remember we talked about the fighting Reaper Genjis on angles? It's really good in those situations as well.
Okay, I'm gonna give it a try.
Just food for thought. The other perk is fine. It does fine. But yeah, this by the way, conceptually is fine. Like you lost the duel. You had some nice shots. You helped your team. You should have gotten the kill there. You could have gotten the kill there.
With the Dynamite,
but peeking there is not the problem, right?
Gotcha.
It was the right play. You were fighting with the majority of your team, and your team is actually still winning this kind of fighting withdrawal, losing this. It's fine. I mean, he's just getting out mechanic. That's fine. There's nothing really there. He caught you off guard there. I think that's the important thing to highlight there. And so, like, again, it's the Reaper principle, right? Like, whoever is fighting you on that position is the #1 priority. So shooting tank there was fine if that was all there was to it, but there was a Cassidy at that point in time looking at you. So it's really important you don't get caught off guard. Like, even this Dynamite here, where do you want to be right now?
High ground.
Do you know what's up here? No. So walk and fight for this position with your Dynamite. You get what I'm saying? Now, if you're content holding here, just use it immediately. But if you're not content holding here, then you need to start moving and thinking about it. See, the problem here is maybe you wouldn't really go up here anyway. You should. But maybe also not having Dynamite makes you scared to go up there. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
I mean, even the Bob here, this is like the first actively, I think, bad Bob because, yeah, it's stopping cart, so it's like fine. It's not that it's bad completely, like it's value. It's just it feels as if you're thinking more about stopping cart than thinking about taking a good position or taking a good angle here. And so this isn't trash. It's just not amazing.
Yep.
I mean, you are on the side a little bit. Like your Genji and Lifeweaver are like, this isn't terrible now. So yeah, it's just tough.
Yeah.
It's more along the lines of I think he chose the wrong angle. You know what I'm saying? Little too easy to bully you out. He's so focused on not staggering. So focused on not staggering. Look at your team. Look at your Sigma. Look at your Lifeweaver. Like they're in. You know, they are in. You know,
You're right.
You did get a kill here too. So that Casty is, I believe, dead. So, I mean, yeah, you just haven't been participating whatsoever.
That's right.
So.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
All right. Let's. Good. I was gonna say, clearly your team is not fighting here, so you need to contribute. This angle is not good, but it's also there aren't many options here. So your Lifeweaver's here, Genji's here. You're off to the side to the right. This isn't terrible. The dynamite was unfortunate. The coach gun was also unfortunate. Completely unnecessary. Maybe a little. Yeah, and this is fine. Like your team is fighting here, and you're further back, but you are also fighting here, right? So it's okay. Most things just needed to hit the dynamite.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't do enough damage. That's basically it. And this is probably where I'd be focusing less tank. This is where target priority becomes an issue right here.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of opportunities to shoot not tank. Really nice dynamite. Dude, this is what we talked about positioning, right? You guys are down like 3 people, and Sojourn might die. Maybe? I mean, the fact that she almost died there is insane. This is a great Bob. Oh my
It was it was unfortunate.
What?
It was unfortunate.
You got robbed. Wait, what did he?
Someone hit him.
Booped. He got booped.
Got booped. Got booped.
Unfortunate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. It's like the only chance there was to try, right? And it's still doing something. The Sarissa is an idiot, right? This is the same freaking, like, what is she doing? I don't know. But yeah, I mean, this is still good, right? Like, this is still actually winnable here, honestly. Let's see. Because it's a huge menace. Like, this is a huge, there's no cover for them from it. If you guys win this fight, it's off of that Bob. Yeah, nice job. Okay, it works. Okay. I mean, disaster averted, I guess.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, you're consistently good, at least with thinking about your Bobs. I did not agree with the Bob before last in terms of the idea, but I think you did have an idea. It was just a bad idea.
Just bad right idea, wrong execution.
Yeah. I just would have preferred. I don't think stopping cart was the number one priority there. It's more about winning the fight. But at least you're thinking about it, right? That's really important. Most Ashes don't do that, so that's a huge strength of yours. Mechanics are fine.
Okay.
Mechanics are fine. For a high gold, it was fine. Like it was. It wasn't a huge problem. It was not a strength nor it was a weakness. It just was. Like I probably would have guessed like a low plat, high gold. I'm not perfect again, so you're about where I would have expected from what I'm seeing. Things to work on. Luka, right? Find the downtime between fights or even in the middle of fights to evaluate your positioning. Let the cooldowns complement the position, not the other way around. Makes sense?
Gotcha. Yep.
Everything is sacrificed at the off angle and damage, right? So to be able to do those things, you need to evaluate, number 1, and then 2, decide what you need to take those angles. That's it.
Gotcha. Okay. Hey, I just honestly thank you very, very much. This has been probably the most useful hour that I think I've ever had learning Overwatch. So
sure, of course.
Genuinely appreciate it.
Of course, I'm glad. Any questions?
No, I've got plenty to go and work on now. So I'm gonna go spend some time doing that, and then in a month or so, I'll ping you back and we'll run it again.
Yeah. If any questions come up, just let me know. Like I said, so the priority is going to be you're going to go into a percentage of your games, most of your games, and you're really fixate exclusively on pre-fight positioning. And then using your cooldowns and pre-fight positioning and using your cooldowns. In terms of other things to practice, you can always keep working on your mechanics. I think those are always things that you can go back and evaluate, whether it's with the Kovacs or whether it's preferably in-game. Trigger discipline, crosshair placement, all of those things you can work on. You can work on being more creative with your bops. You can have games where you experiment with the new perk. You can have games where you work on your target priority, making sure I'm shooting the right target from the angle that I'm at, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So you can have games where what you're working on is just a little something a little flashy, something a little fun, not the good, honest, fundamental meat and potatoes, but just a little bit of candy. You know what I'm saying? Because those things are worth practicing too. But I'd say about half your games at least I would work on pre-fight positioning, because that is something that you're going to have to, in the moment, decide depending on the map, depending on the situation. So don't worry about memorizing positions. Work on developing your brain positioning muscle over and over and over. Where do I need to be? Where do I need to be? Where do I need to be? Okay, they're in Genji, but he's not flanking. Okay, where is that Genji? Okay, he doesn't have deflex, so I can push him, right? Okay, they're all on snipers, right? So wait, shoot, I'm playing in a Widow Hanzo. How do I? Okay, I'm hard flanking these guys. If they're not, I'm gonna dynamite them from behind. I'm gonna bob their back line. I'm gonna play with try to bait them to chase me. You know, you're gonna be all over the place, right? You know what you're looking for. Where are they? What are they running? What cooldowns did I have? Practice a decision. Don't be scared of making mistakes. Don't be scared of making the wrong read. Just make a read. That's the challenge. Because whenever you made a read, even if it was the wrong one, you still got more value. And that is long-term going to make you a much better player than just kind of going through the motions.
Okay.